Welcome, everyone. And welcome to this month's webinar that we host monthly. And I'm so privileged to have Haley and Cricky with us to join. It was such a privilege. I'm Gabriella de Kock, and I'm a sports recruiter here at Sable International. And we help student athletes source and just navigate the complex process of college recruitment, how to connect to colleges and sports coaches, and just how can we align their sporting abilities to the opportunities that we have overseas. Yeah, so I'm absolutely thrilled you could join today. I'm especially excited to introduce you to two incredible humans, Haley Kilfoyle and Cricky van Wyk. They're very well known in the hockey community here in South Africa, but they also took their abilities abroad. So that's why they're here on and chatting with us today, which is really, really awesome. So thank you so much for joining. But yeah, beyond their athletic achievements, they are two of the most genuine and inspiring individuals. So very grateful to have them on, and it's such a pleasure to know you guys. Today, you'll get to hear firsthand about their experiences, their journey, and just how it is to compete internationally and to study abroad, and just obviously their life lessons they picked up along the way on their journey. So grab your coffee. I know it's dinner time. Maybe grab your dinner and just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the amazing conversations we will be having. But yeah, let's get down to business. So the key topics we'll be chatting about is just like, obviously, we're going to be chatting about their real life stories from Cricky and Haley, what coaches look for in international players, how to adapt to US, obviously to the US culture, which probably must have been a shock coming from South Africa. And then obviously the training. We were training so much in the US. How do you manage academics, your social life, and just also all the training that we were having to do and playing matches and traveling and all that stuff. So yeah. So then we're going to be also chatting about coping with homesickness. They were so far away from home. So how did they deal with that, and just the amount of pressure? And then just obviously how the life lessons that they went beyond, not just on the field, but also just in life in general. Just a few tips before we introduce these cool people. Quick facts about international student athletes studying in the USA, which is pretty incredible. There's over 4,000 universities and colleges in the US, which is crazy with only the 27 that we have here in South Africa. Great universities, but there's just so much opportunity in the US, which is so cool. But you would be amazed that there's over 1 million international students that are studying in the US each year, which is crazy. And then of that, there's around 580,000 student athletes competing while studying. And of those, 30,000 international students are actually internationals. So that's amazing. Just looking at the hockey programs, there's over 290 hockey programs in the US, which is insane. You got Division 1, you got Division 2 and Division 3. So those 290 make up those divisions. Most of them are going to be in Division 1, where they compete at the highest, but they're all pretty cool, and it depends on your ability and obviously what are you striving for. Within those three divisions, there's actually 700 international field hockey players across all divisions. I was trying to figure out how many there was for South Africans, but they say there's around 30 South Africans out of that 700, which is really, really cool. Yeah, so let's get down to business. We got two incredible humans that are joining here today. But yeah, thanks so much, Haley and Cricky, for joining us. It is so, so cool to have you. They have both, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but just to introduce them basically, they are really well known in the hockey world here in South Africa. We got a little kitty there. And they've achieved, provincials. They made SA schools, first team hockey in their schools. And then obviously they made SA under 21, and Cricky made SA 5s, which is really awesome. But yeah, with their dedication and their hard work, they got noticed and got a full scholarship to go to the University of Pacific. So that's a Division 1 team, which is really awesome. One of the most competitive universities then. top 25, which is really cool. Coached by Andy Smith, who's currently coaching the hockey team at Cornell University at the moment. Such an awesome guy. But yeah, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I'm going to stop sharing here, and then we can just see their faces. But yeah, Hales, you can go first. Tell us a little bit about yourself, from, where were you born and how did hockey come about? And yeah, just your journey a little bit in the US.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabs. Thanks so much for inviting me to this call. I think probably one of my most favorite things to talk about is my experience in the US. So yeah, it really is a privilege to be here. So yeah, who am I? Well, my name is Haley. I was born in KZN but grew up in Joburg. And yeah, went to Foyers High, had incredible coaches there. Yeah, just played a lot of hockey in high school, club, school, provincial, all the things. Yeah, and just really, really loved the sports. In grade 8, I had to choose between swimming and hockey, and obviously went for the team sport because a team sport is just way more fun, and you get to just meet incredible humans along the way. So yeah, just that's kind of where it all started in grade 8, where kind of got a lot more serious. Yeah, played C-team provincial hockey in grade 8, and then the next year played A-team under 16 for Southerns, and we actually won IPT that year. So yeah, really quite a big jump in, I guess, in the dynamic of hockey. And then yeah, just fell more in love with the game and just continued to play. And then I'd probably say like grade 11 and matric were like my biggest years in hockey. Played under 21 both in grade 11 and matric. My high school coach was just like, hey, just go to the trials, just see how it goes. And yeah, I ended up playing both years. And in my matric year, I actually ended up captaining the team. By both our captains got injured, and our coach had to pick a new captain, and I was the youngest person in the team, but he picked me. So yeah, like that was yeah, just I guess quite a significant space or time in my hockey career. And then yeah, matric, we did an overseas trip to the Netherlands. And the guy who was organizing our trip, by the name of Mo, he watched one of our games overseas, and he was like, hey, I know this guy in America who can, offer you a full ride scholarship. And I was like, what? I was like, are you sure you're talking to the right person? Yeah. And yeah, so back then, WhatsApp didn't have any video calls or anything like that. So my contact with my parents was very limited. So I only told them when I got home, and they were like, what the heck? Like, why did you take so long to let us know? We could have already had the ball rolling. Anyway, like 2 days later, I had a phone call with my coach, Andy. And I think the process literally took a month. Yeah, I was like just back and forth between Andy and I and my parents, and yeah, just asking all the questions, and yeah, and then ended up going to the States for 4 years. So yeah, and it was probably the best time of my life so far.
Awesome. Amazing, Hills. Thank you. Yeah, Creeks, let's go.
Sure. Yeah, Gaps, thank you for asking to share our story. It was definitely one of the best experiences in my life. Yeah, just a bit of myself. I grew up in Middelburg, went to Hoërskool Middelburg, then Mpumalanga. Yeah, played a bit of hockey. Didn't play very seriously up until grade 10. In grade 9, I didn't even make one provincial side. And then grade 10, I was like, sure, no, I need to pick it up. Ended up making a provincial side, and it was the first time I played for Mpumalanga. It was the first time we actually made the semis, so it was very cool. And also ended up making my first SA schools that year. And then obviously my love for hockey grew by lots. And yeah, I just kept on working hard. I knew I wanted to go to varsity to play hockey. It was always a dream. You know, you watch um, the varsity hockey on TV, and yeah, I just knew I wanted to play for Tuks. Went to Tuks for a year, and yeah, didn't end up making the northern side that year, but then it just encouraged me to work a little bit harder. And then the next year, I had probably one of the best hockey years of my entire career. And then that's when one of my friends, actually that studied in America, Savannah Burns, she actually told Andy, who was our coach, listen, I have a girl that you'd want over here. And then he contacted me, and like Haley said, the process also maybe took a little bit over a month. Yeah, and then it happened. Went to the States, and then obviously Haley got stuck with me in the dorm rooms, but it was awesome. I actually ended up going for 3 years because I actually lost a year because I studied in South Africa as well. But it was probably one of the best experiences of my life, and I think because
Amazing.
because of the hockey I played there, it allowed me to play a different kind of hockey, different style of
Mm.
hockey. Coming back to South Africa, so yeah, it was cool.
Amazing. Yeah. So obviously we looked at those stats, and there's quite a lot of international students. Why do you think coaches are recruiting so many international students in the US?
I'll take it. Yeah, I think international students really just bring a different dynamic to the team. Yeah, I think everywhere around the world, the different style of hockey is played. And so, yeah, I think if you're coming from South Africa, if you're coming from the Netherlands, if you're coming from England, New Zealand, wherever it is, you know, there's a certain culture in the countries that you come from. And yeah, I think when you mix them together, it just creates a greater learning experience for everyone involved, including the coaches. So yeah.
Yeah, I also agree with Haley there, Gabs. I think the different kinds of like styles that everyone play overseas in their country, they can bring it to America into one team, and then just you can get a little bit creative with it, if it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we had a lot of international students at Pacific. I mean, a lot of them being South African, which is funny, which was cool. But yeah, saying what would you say, like the Belgium and the Netherlands? What are their qualities?
You're just like so consistent. Like basics that are like unreal, and just an incredible understanding of the game. Yeah, I think they get taught structures and all that from a very young age, whereas like I think South Africa and the States are very similar, and like in terms of the structure aspect, you kind of only really start learning it like under 14 and 15 level. So you don't get as much experience understanding structures. So yeah, bringing that dynamic as well is like, yeah, this is one way to do it, but also this is another way, and this is another way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I also think they are able to start so young because they have the resources and facilities, and and like here back in South Africa, we didn't always have it. Like we started playing on grass fields as well. So obviously now we're more privileged. So yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, in your perspective, like Andy loved, he loved South African student athletes. Why do you think he loved South Africans so much? What qualities do we bring?
I actually asked him this when there was like 7 or 8 of us in the team, and he kept wanting more and more. And I said, Andy, just why? Can you just give me a reason why? One thing that really stands out about South Africa is because we work really hard, and that's on the field, it's off the field as well. And he said he thinks it's because we work hard because we have to work for what we want. And I'm not saying that it's not like that for other athletes from other countries, but yeah, that's just what he told me, because I was curious, and that was his answer. The work rate and grit.
Yeah.
You really admired it from South African athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so why going on to the topic of why you chose to actually go overseas to study and play. You both were very talented hockey players coming out of high school, and you guys are both captains for your senior provincial side, which is still awesome. So the old legs are still going, but what
30 years
made you
going.
decide? What made you decide to leave home, which is thousands of miles away, and just study and compete in the USA?
Hales, are you gonna go first or?
Yeah, sure. um, yeah, I think going overseas to play was kind of something I'd always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And my dad and I actually spoke about the US when I was like in grade 9 or something like that. And he contacted a few coaches, and they said, yeah, she's still a bit young, but like contact us in like the next year or so, and we can chat further. And then like I'd actually forgotten about the US. Like I was going to England. Like that was where I was going for a gap year. I was going to go dual in England somewhere. Go and play hockey and just learn the game that side. Then the US came up, and the opportunity was just too good not to pass. And my parents were like, you are not going to go. Like we're going to make this happen, having the backing from my parents in that aspect was cool as well. I guess it made me a little less scared as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, cricket.
Yeah, I also, once the opportunity came, I never thought about it. I always told my mom and dad that whenever I get an opportunity to go, I'd go. Doesn't matter where. And then obviously when I got the opportunity, I was like, Mom, Dad, this came up. I don't want to say no. And the reason why I went was not just because of hockey. Obviously, it's one of the biggest reason. But for me as a human, I was very introverted and shy, and I always, because I'm a twin, I was always like kind of my twin sister's shadow, and I kind of had to go and get to know myself. And going there, it allowed me to grow as a person as well, and like to get to know other cultures and other people, and like just like get a bit more out of my comfort zone, not just with hockey, like to explore on the field, but also to explore as a human, and like to get to know what I like as a human, and not like what I like when I'm with my sister, if that makes sense. So I think I think that's one of the big, like the second biggest reason is for me to like go and grow as a person.
That's so cool. Yeah, absolutely. So such a great time there, obviously, and so many experiences. What did you most enjoy or treasure from the US?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest, like because we were on the West Coast, we got to travel a lot to the East Coast, and because we had so many international students, I think Andy obviously made it worthwhile because we always went to go see something. I mean, we saw Ed Sheeran at the MetLife Stadium. We went to Niagara Falls. I mean, we went to go explore New York City. We had so many experiences that I can, up until today, I show photos and I speak about it to students at schools that ask me, Coach, was it worthwhile? I said yes, because it's not just because of the hockey, it was because of this as well. It was so cool. That's some of the things that I always talk about, and the people I got to do it with.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. I think for me to answer this question, I honestly wish that I could give each and every single one of you listening to this a little flash drive from my brain and just insert it into yours, because there's just so much to talk about. I mean, like just the three of us, like this is, friendships that were built from that time. Like it's so hard to kind of encapsulate that that question into one thing, because it was just such an incredible experience. I think, just from like a hockey perspective, playing as a professional is not something that you can achieve here in South Africa. And so going over there, you literally are treated as a professional, but you're still getting to study and all of these things. And it was just like that experience in itself was incredible. Like, you gymming and you fitness and you on the field, and then you traveling and like you're getting your kits, everything is like organized for you, you know.
Yeah.
So
Like,
it was really just such an incredible thing to experience, because it's, you know, to get to something like that in South Africa, you have to play a specific sport. You can't
exactly.
play the sport that we love, you know, and play
Yeah.
at that kind of level.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that was really a special time for me, and also just the people you get to meet along the way, and immersing yourself in a culture that is so different to the one that you grew up in, is something you can't pay money for.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, thank you for for sharing that. Absolutely. I agree with all of you guys. It was so many things to obviously reminisce about. I always have a tear in my eyes when I see pictures and stuff, but that's so awesome. But yeah, obviously, like you said, Hells, you know, we had so many, you know, things of training and all that stuff. Like, how did you manage the demands of the academics? I know we were still, you know, you're playing you're a full-time athlete, but you're also a full-time student. So like, how did you manage all those demands? Like, we literally we almost practiced three hours a day every single day, and then we still had to travel, and we got with the buses and traveling everywhere. And yeah, how did you manage all of that?
Yo, I think I just loved every minute of it. So
Mm,
it wasn't a thing that was too hard, you know,
mm,
and it wasn't a thing that was too hard to balance,
yeah,
because I just enjoyed every aspect of it.
yeah,
Not to say that it wasn't hard, like there were moments where it was really hard, you know, but
yeah,
for the most part, like it, yeah, I mean, you have so much support,
mm,
which is also a really great thing. I think we
yeah,
honestly were really blessed with the coach that we had. But with that aside, you know, the university provides so much support in that, like,
mm,
in terms of like getting your academics right, etc., etc. There's student advisors who are like on your case. If you get a bad mark, like this, you get called into the student advisor's office, and they're like, "What are we going to do to make it better?" You know.
yeah,
And so there's a form of accountability for the athlete as well, which really helps you not to get distracted, and forces you to actually find that balance yourself,
absolutely.
which is good for a kid, you know,
Yeah.
who's still trying
Yeah.
to figure out life. But yeah, I think the balance just comes from asking questions and just being open to being helped. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Crix,
I
how
also
did you
think,
find?
Gabs, I also think, study hall. I mean, everyone, yeah. For those listening, if you didn't, you have to have a certain GPA. That's your average that you
Yeah.
had to have a semester, and if you didn't reach that, you had to do study hall, and it's like 10 hours a week or something. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but and no one wanted to be in study hall because it's so busy, and then you wanted your silence to
Yeah.
like study in your room or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you didn't want to be the only one from your team in study hall, and everyone's working together um
Yeah.
in the dorms or in the apartment. So I think that's also one thing that motivated me as a student athlete. And I think, like Haley said, the student advisors really helped a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also people around you. I mean, I remember working with Hales and Lindsay for the biology class, and I mean, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have passed. I, I
Yeah.
think reaching out to the people around you as well, because especially for
Absolutely.
me, coming from an Afrikaans town, the
Yeah.
English wasn't the best always. So I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I can speak for both of you, but like we had a lot of support from our teammates as well. So like if we were
Yeah.
struggling with something, you literally could just ask anyone, and they would drop everything, and they would literally like help you. We had a lot of those people in our teams, and it's just so cool because I think it was easier to go as a student athlete to the university overseas is because you had literally a whole bunch of sisters, or just a family, or you already had ready-made friends there for you. You didn't have to go out and go to classes and make friends, and it was really awesome. Yeah. So how did you, obviously the people and the friends you made, obviously from all over the world, because they're coming from Belgium and England and all those countries, like, was it easy for you guys to make friends overseas?
Well, Haley was my first friend, and luckily. Um, but it actually wasn't like, I think people found us interesting because of the accent as well. I don't know,
Yeah.
Hales, I don't know if you remember the first time we actually had dinner at Ali. One of the girls there, she was actually an American
Yeah.
that invited us for dinner, and Ax, she was from Belgium, and it
Yeah.
was actually very cool just to like see how different they were and how they were treating us. Americans are very social, so it was really not that
Yeah.
hard for us to make friends with them. Well, for me, like the Americans are very,
Yeah.
very nice. And I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is like not everyone's like they're not up, like they're all up in your business, which is fine, but they
Yeah.
want to get to know you because they're like, oh, this is a new
Yeah.
human here. Who is this? So for me, it was cool. And
Someone,
also
yeah.
like the other part was the international students, I think, leaning on each other because of like you're away from your home, like you kind of had to
Mm.
make friends, like I kind of
Yeah.
actually like start your own family in a way.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot
Yeah.
because it wasn't like that just from one side, like it was like a two-sided
Yeah.
thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously, yeah, we had a lot of holidays that we could go on to, like spring break and Thanksgiving, and the Americans were always so welcoming when it came to that, or the internationals would do something together. What was your favorite like holiday, or your type of holiday?
Yo.
I have an interesting one. We actually stayed in a hostel on the beach in San Diego. It was pretty cool.
That
The three
was
of us
fun.
were there together. It was just so cool because it was so different. You didn't know who you were gonna like room with there, and obviously, like a few of us roomed together. I think it was like 5 or 6 of us, and all of us were international students, and we were just there like experiencing this whole hostel vibe on the beach. It was just so cool to experience it and obviously see a different part of America with my
Yeah, that's
international
amazing.
friend. Well, CS.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hales,
I
what
think
did you enjoy?
yo oh my gosh, there's just so
so
many. But
so
I
many.
think like two of my favorite ones were we so I have family that live in California, and we went down to, I think it was Gabs and some other girls from our team. We went down to their house for Thanksgiving. Um, and yeah, that was just a really, really cool time. We surfed like every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, then the other one would probably, oh my gosh, but now I'm thinking about Hawaii as well. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think, getting to go to Hawaii, and like even Gabs and I went skiing for the first time together, which was also just a really, really cool experience. We saw snow together for the first time together. It
Yeah.
was like really such an incredible experience. When
Yeah.
you see snow in the mountains like that, it's just like a whole different experience. Like you see it on the TV and it's like cool. When you see it in real life, it's unreal. I think we actually cried when it snowed.
Yeah. We
But
South
yeah,
Africans
just
seeing snow is so crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's too many to say that this one was my favorite. There's so many different aspects to each one. Um,
I love it.
but just the fact that we
Yeah.
got to experience all that difference was super cool.
That's so amazing. Wow, thank you for sharing. But yeah, obviously you went to a different country and it's a different culture. What was the biggest culture shock for you guys? I know for me, it was the food portions. We go and it would be double the size of a South African meal. But you know what? We ate it anyway. And
Yep.
yeah. So what was your biggest culture shock?
I think, Kriegs, I'm just going to share the story because it's hilarious. So, the first night that Kriki and I were together in America, we went to this place, a restaurant called BJ's. Now, we look at the menu and it's super overwhelming because it's like 15 pages long. And all we wanted was like a toasted sandwich. Like, that was the only thing we wanted. So, we ordered a chicken club sandwich. Okay, thinking that, oh, okay, cool, we're gonna get just like some chicken and avo, whatever, bacon. I don't know what comes on it. when they put that thing on our table, it was literally like 3 sandwiches on top of each other. And Crick and I looked at each other like, wow, okay, cool. So this is America. So yeah, I think like for me as well, the biggest culture shock was the food. But also the American accent. It was very hard to adjust to at first. Like it actually irritated me a little bit in the beginning. But yeah, it was something that I just had to get used to. Yeah, Cricks.
Wow.
Yeah, I think for me the language was a very big barrier. I was like, what are these people saying? Because I mean, I'm like super Afrikaans, come from Middelburg, and now I need to speak English the whole time. So I think, Hels, I think you probably got annoyed with me as well because I kept asking you, what does this word mean? What does that mean? But yeah, super thankful that I actually went because I think my English is a little bit better now. But yeah, the language barrier and
It's much better.
Yes, yeah, and then thanks, and then obviously the food. Yo, it was always so big. You always had lunch the next day, so that was cool. But yeah, it's such a portion.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we trained so much that we actually just finished it. So like it was so easy for us. I know every time I bought a Ben and Jerry's, I miss Ben and Jerry's so much. You would always think that you have a few scoops and then that's enough, but then you actually have the whole pint, and it's so embarrassing. But yeah, we could afford it because we were burning so many calories. But yeah, obviously. How does the athletic environment in the US compare to like what you would see back home here?
Oh, Hales, Gab, sorry, for me, it's just so different. Like Haley said earlier, it's such a professional, it's such a professional atmosphere. Like an environment when you in the States. Back home, it's like you play for your club, you pitch up. There's no locker rooms. You don't have a gym where you gym together as a team. You don't do your running sessions with your team. You don't eat together. You don't like in America. You have your athletic training room. You have your gym. You have your ice baths. You have your locker room where you can get together as a team. You have the dining hall. Like everything feels just so professional. Especially in preseason before you get before you actually start with season, you have such good. How can I put this? Such a good time together as a team because there's no school, there's no university, no classes. You just literally train. You get up at 6, you have a spinning class. Then you go to hockey for 2 hours. After that, I mean, I guess you take a nap for 1 hour and then you go and eat. After you ate, you have hockey for another 2 hours. And I mean, that's not how it is. Yeah, I mean, in varsity, it's kind of it's like that in a way, but it's not as professional. I mean, you travel, but you have to pay your own stuff. When you're in the States, you travel, you don't worry about costs. Especially if you're on a full ride scholarship. I mean, it helped a lot. And it just made you feel like you're like so the South African national team doesn't even get this, and I'm studying in America and I get what I get. You know what I mean? So you really just feel
it's crazy.
It's a different environment. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, but just sure, that's crazy. But obviously Andy was such an awesome coach. Like, what was his coaching style? I know he didn't really like any drills, so all he did was we just played games. But I guess you'll get different coaches. Well, there'll be different coaching styles everywhere in America. But how did you guys like the kit? Like we would get kit for days. It was insane.
You get
it was
shoes, everything.
No,
free.
it was amazing. I think the most proud thing is when our own locker. When you have your own locker, you have your name and your number and where you're from, and then you put all your clothes and your stinky shoes in there. Again, it just shows you how professional you felt. Also with media day, that was cool. You do all these fun things on media day, which was really, really awesome. But getting back to the personal growth that you guys obviously grew and felt, and the lessons you learned. How have you grown personally having studied abroad?
Sure. Gabs, can I just quickly go back like one step before I
Yeah,
answer this question? So I just think
absolutely.
it's so important to mention because it's something that I only thought about now because it actually adds a different element to
Mm.
our training and the video analysis that we did
Oh, yes.
in varsity was also like top notch. Like I think if there's one way to make you like 10 times better, it's watching video on yourself. And you
Yeah.
know, we were really really blessed. The video guy who we had, his name is Chris Fry, and he is the video analysis for the USA national women's team. um, and he's also at UNC, which is one of the top universities in America. Yeah, and I think, you know, that made such a difference to our game. I
Absolutely.
just think about our penalty corners and how we conceded so many goals in our penalty corners the one year, and then the next year we really focused on making sure that we were watching their penalty corners, and then we had like a team that would replicate what the opposition was doing, so our defensive team could practice against that. And you know, so are we in the gym, are we on the field, are we doing fitness, whatever it is, you know, we also have that aspect to it.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, we had GT, who was also a coach, one of our coaches. And if there was something that we needed to fix from the week or the weekend game or whatever, we'd have an individual session with him, and we would work specifically on one type of skill. And yeah, I think this is something that we didn't quite have, but I know that most universities do have it, where you have a mental coach. So, and I think that also, you know, together with the video, it just brings that whole other different dynamic to your game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, Gabs, going back to your question about how how I've grown. Yeah, I think you're like just so much. I honestly, I don't think I'd be the person I am today without that experience. And I know that sounds cheesy to say, but like I'm being genuine about it. Like, you know, I was like Crix, like I was very shy in school. Was not really someone who would go and approach people and like introduce myself to them. And you know, now I'm not scared to do that anymore. Like it's something that it's a fear that I had to overcome. And so yeah, I mean, there's so much personal growth that's happened. And yeah, again, it's like I was almost forced to learn it, not in a bad way, but like it's really made me into the person I am today. Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I think before I went to America, my family kind of said, "You're not gonna make it because of like the personality I have." And I had the privilege to come back a little earlier, and well, just after like 2 months I've been in America. And
Yeah.
once they saw me, and I mean it was 2-3 months, they saw me and they were like, "Who are you?" And I think that's kind of what America taught me, is just like Hale said, um, like so introverted, but then once you got to know a few Americans, they just bring you out of your comfort zone and out of your shell, and they make you feel so welcome and
Yeah.
so it sounds weird, but so loved in a way that you feel like you can talk, you can be yourself. I can show who I am because they kind of allow you to, if that makes sense. So I think, like Hels also said, I think if it wasn't for America, I probably would have been not the same. I probably would have been better, but
Yeah.
I think I probably would have been a bit still shy in a way, and always just keep to myself unless someone speak to me. So I think it really helped a lot in that way.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you're flying all the way to America, which is thousands of miles, millions of miles. No, I think it's thousands of miles away. But yeah, I know we were having the best time of our lives, but like there was also a bit of homesickness sometimes. How did you guys deal with, homesickness, mom's food, friends back home, mom and dad's hug? Like, how did you deal with all of that?
Well, Gabs, honestly, I think the fact that we had so many international students in our team helped.
Yeah.
I actually wrote down a name here, Tina Dempsey.
Oh, yes.
After every single game we played, all the American athletes went to their parents, and obviously the international athletes didn't have their parents there. Sometimes here
Yeah.
and there, someone come and visit. I mean, like Ju's parents, and
Yeah.
that was always nice. But you walk off
Yeah.
the field, and especially if you just lost the game, or you didn't get the result you wanted, or you didn't have the best game, and you walk off, and all you wanted was just a hug from your mom. And I just
Yeah.
remember she reminded me so much of my mom, because she always just opened up her arms wide and she would just give you the biggest hug, and then you'd feel home. And I think that helped
Yeah.
a lot, especially coming from an American parent. And like I said, like
Yeah.
the foreign or the international athletes helped a lot as well, because I remember when we roomed together as well, Hales, like when you were homesick or I was homesick, there was always a way we kind of like hyped each other up. And then Justine,
Yeah.
who came from Belgium, she was always in our room, and then her and I were roommates. She was always in my room, and it was just so nice, because she kind of knew exactly what I needed when I was homesick. And Hales,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can agree on this, but I think with technology that grew so much,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
video calls helped a lot. I mean, I know it's not in person and so on, and it's virtual, but seeing a loved one's face on screen is better than nothing. And I think that
Yeah.
kind of helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. So
yeah, Chris, you
yeah. Hale.
hit the
Sorry.
nail on the head there. No. Crick's hit the nail on the head. I was also Tina Dempsey was on my list as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually amazing how like welcoming, you had all those international students, but the Americans are actually just so welcoming. It was just such an amazing experience because yeah, again, you're going somewhere totally different, not knowing anyone, and then all of a sudden you've ended up with all these, family members that you've formed. But I think it's also important to have a coach that is actually very supportive and caring. They were basically like our fathers away from home, which was really awesome. I know
Well,
Steve and you were kind of similar like that.
yeah, Gab, sorry, just to like say something off of what you just said. I think because
Yeah.
Andy, Chris, and Gareth were also international coaches,
Yeah.
I think that kind of helped us as well. I mean, all of them come from Great Britain.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time where I was really homesick and Justine wasn't there. And I just remember phoning Andy. And he
Mm.
came to pick me up, and I just spent the night. Well, they didn't spend the night there, but him and what is his fiance, wife,
Yes.
Tara?
Yeah.
No, at that time it was
Tara.
Tara. And I spent the evening there, and then they dropped me off again, and they just made me feel so. I don't know, like they made me feel at home, and I feel like
Yeah.
Andy was good at that. Like he was a dad
Yeah.
as well, so that
Yeah.
helped.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's so awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. But yeah, obviously, in your opinion, what do you think recruiters or coaches look for in a field hockey player wanting to go abroad?
I think first and foremost, definitely ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, for anybody who's like, I guess anyone who wants to go, video is really important. So, if this is something that you're keen on doing, yeah, already now start just capturing some video. Yeah, I mean, there's so much technology available for you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like start now. Any of like your best goals or your something good that you did on the field, whatever you feel is good. Yeah, start putting little clips together. So yeah, I think definitely video is important, but yeah, I think just also people who are going to add to the culture of what the coach is trying to build. So I think, the most important things are being a good person, and being a coachable person. Yeah, and I think, if you can do those things, you'll flourish
Yeah.
anywhere you go, if it's in America or wherever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I think
amazing.
Hales basically said everything. I also agree with her on that one. I think also, yeah, if you can lead in a way as well, because
Mm.
you can lead in a with a different style because you come from another country, if that makes sense. So I
Yeah.
think coaches sometimes look for something different, if that makes sense,
Mm.
to add to the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, just on a final note, like if you could give advice to your younger self, what advice would you give while you're still in high school? What advice would you give yourself? Just it doesn't matter if you're going abroad or anything like that, staying home or whatever. What is as an athlete, what would you give yourself? What advice would you give yourself?
Don't throw it away. I mean, if you get an
Yeah.
opportunity, use it, because some people out there don't get
Yeah.
like opportunities that you do, and if you don't use it, you're gonna be stupid. Sorry for saying that, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
If you throw it
Yeah.
away after getting such an amazing opportunity, whether it's studying abroad or studying at Tux, UJ, Marty's, Pika, wherever, there's so much time to do all the partying, all the going crazy, everything you want to do. But like if you're a student athlete, doesn't matter where you study, don't throw it away, because if you have ability, use it.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah. I think what's coming to mind is just be gracious with yourself, and yeah, just like if you make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. um yeah, there's still another day to make yourself better. So yeah, I think that's like a tough question to answer. But yeah, I think also, like, one of the things that someone told me a little bit later on in my high school career was, like, if you were to write a letter to your best friend, you wouldn't point out like all the bad things in that person. Like, you'd just rave about them. So like looking at yourself from that perspective as well, that you know you're also someone worth raving about, even if like it's something you don't feel like. Look for the good things in yourself, and yeah, um, it'll get you far. And just be humble in everything you do, and be teachable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
one. I think I learned it from Ash Rutherford. I don't know. No one will probably know her from on here, but
The
um,
legend.
yeah, you got to risk it for the biscuit. You got to risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, but life goes so quickly. You blink and you literally are finished with university, or you blink and you on off to university. So, just cherishing every minute that you have, and just being in the present, which is really, really important. But yeah, what a time. Yeah. But otherwise, thank you so much, Hales and Crix. It was literally so lovely to chat to you. It was such an awesome time and a good conversation. We are gonna open it up to the floor. The chat is on private, so don't worry if you're too shy to ask a question. Does anyone have questions for Cricky and for Haley? Can be anything. We'll just wait. Can you see any questions? Oh yeah. When yeah.
We
So
genuinely need to
we
organize that.
Gosh, the best.
so yeah, we have a past also teammate, and she's on here and she's asking when the reunion is. We were gonna say soon.
Tubbs, we coming to Cape Town. Hales and I.
Yeah, Cape Town will have to be the place.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got a question here. The level of hockey that you're competing at, in the US? What is the level? Because people think that when you go to the US, it's not competitive. But could you just elaborate of how competitive it is?
Your
Yeah,
your Hales, you can
I think
start.
yeah. So I think like um, Division 1, you're gonna get competitive hockey. Like
Yeah.
whether you play number 45 in the league or top 5 in the league, you're gonna compete. Um, everyone's wanting to be better. Every team
Yeah.
is wanting to be better. So there's going to be competition. And I mean, you're training all this time. You go to a Division 1 school and you're putting in all this effort. It's not going to nothing. So yeah, I think, maybe the level of hockey will not be as good as it is here. But with that being said, a lot of our university teams here have people who are older than 21,
Yeah.
whereas in the States, you literally you're only allowed to play 4 years of university. So the average age in your team is like 20, or less, like
Yeah.
19,
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's going to be competitive. And it's going to be competitive within the environment that you're playing in, and you're going to learn and you're going to grow. So yeah, I think I'm not entirely sure when you go down divisions, like what the competition looks like. I don't know, Gabs, you might know more information on that, but
Mm.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
just say if you get the opportunity to go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like Haley said, Gabs, we obviously don't know how Division 2 and Division 3 is.
Mm.
Um, that's they can obviously get that information from you. But yeah,
Mm.
any university that you can go to, especially in Division 1, I'd highly recommend. I don't really know a lot of universities in Division 2 and 3, but yeah, I mean it's still such an awesome opportunity. The level it's crazy. Some universities even come over. I mean, Andy, that was our coach. He came over with Cornell, where he's now, and they actually dominated. Hales, you can give a bit more information.
Yeah,
They came to play UJ. You guys, it's just Shumbas. They played Marties, where
and
they
Wits.
Wits, and I think they beat Wits. They drew
Yeah,
Marties. I don't know what the
did.
result against you guys were, but it's yeah. If that can give you any indication of the level of hockey and the intensity, I mean that would say a lot, especially if you can draw against a team like Marties and beat Wits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very good level of hockey.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
he's a top 25 school, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
flippin' incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, for obviously me being a recruiter, I've learned a lot about the Division 1. I mean, obviously I've lived Division 1, but I've now learned about Division 2 and Division 3. Obviously, it's not going to be as competitive as Division 1, but those universities are still so great. So there's universities for any level, any academics. So it's really there's kind of a university for any type of student athlete. Division 3, you're going to be more of your academic schools like John Hopkins, North New York City College. You got MIT. So those are the best universities in the world. So those are in Division 3, but they're not going to be as competitive, and they don't invest as much money into hockey in Division 3. Division 2, it's going to be kind of more of a balance, but it's not going to be as competitive as Division of 1, but it's still competitive. So yeah, if you're really wanting to go there for hockey and you really want to play the highest level, it would be Division 1. But again, Division 2 and 3 still have such awesome universities to go to with some great academics. So it kind of depends what your goals and your priorities are. But yeah, is
Um,
there any? Oh, sorry.
Gab, sorry, can I just say, because obviously I have had a few experiences from players that
Yeah.
spoken to me about where they started playing in Division 2, and then obviously
Yeah.
they got recognized by Division 1 coaches
Yeah.
and moved
Yeah.
across. I know 2 or 3 of those players from South Africa that actually started in a lower
Amazing.
division. Yes, and
Mm.
then they got seen by like a Michigan University and stuff like that, and then they
Yeah.
actually moved up a division. So that is possible for
Absolutely.
if you get approached by a Division 2 school or whatever, for those that are interested in knowing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you go to university, that doesn't have to be your university for the 4 years. So if you don't enjoy it, you want to go to a high division, yeah, that's an option for sure. So you're not really restricted to one university, but obviously it would be awesome if you could spend your 4 years at one university. But yeah, absolutely, Crix, that is definitely a chance. Again, these coaches can't see you. Like some of them do come to South Africa, but when you market to these coaches, not a lot of them, they only see video of you. So it's really cool to see them. They see you play when you play in the US, and they actually then, if you're wanting to transfer, it's a lot easier for you. So yeah, that's a very good statement, Crix. Is there any other questions? Any parents on the on the webinar that have any questions regarding anything? Everyone's hungry. I think they're ready, wanting to go. I'll give you 1 more minute, and then we can say our goodbyes and thanks. I don't think there's going to be any questions. Okay, cool.
That's okay.
Awesome. That's okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Haley and Crix. It was really, really awesome to chat to you. I really appreciate you taking your time. This is prime dinner time, so thank you so much for waiting for a little bit. But yeah, thank you for everyone that has joined to hear about. That's nice. Sounds amazing. I want to go
Yes.
already.
You won't regret it. You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. Yeah. Obviously, next steps is you go to our website and you can obviously do an evaluation. You'll get in touch with one of our consultants, and then they'll just obviously look at your reports and then your athletic ability, and then we'll kind of give you your options, see where you suited, and obviously to hear about your aspirations and all those type of things. So yeah, awesome. So go to our website, click on the evaluation form, and then or I might get in touch with you with your details here. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining and watching and being part of this. And yeah, you too, keep shining bright and changing the world. Yeah, love you guys lots. Thank you so much.
Guys, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gabs.
Bye,
this
everyone.
was awesome.
Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.